Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So, I think if you've seen my last few videos and pictures that I've posted on the community section of my channel, you'll see that I've got quite a few chili plants to put on. So, over these next few days, hopefully, I shall get around to that. Hopefully, before they dry out. I think I've had a couple that were at the back of the shelving unit that I must have missed them with the watering, and unfortunately I think they've dried out a little bit, but I'm hoping now I've found them that I can actually revive them, and hopefully we can get a nice little seedling to pot on. Germination rates this year been pretty good. The only issues I've had has been with old seeds. So most of my habanero chilies, so everything from white habanero, kind of normal red habaneros, Maya red, all of those sort of habanero chilies, the basic standard habaneros that look a bit like a kind of a small Scotch bonnet, I suppose. Those I've had a few issues with. And then some of the other ones where, again, it's kind of old seeds, so like Serrano, Tampiquano, Black Olive. There's a few of them which I know potentially, once I've transferred the rest of the chilies, I'm probably going to have to put those back on heat again and just see if I can actually tempt them into kind of coming out of the ground, and we'll see what happens. So that's going to be probably quite a large job, because looking at the amount of seedlings, I think I've probably got about 3 or so seedlings for each type. So we're looking at maybe 300-400 pots, maybe, I think. So yeah, quite a large amount of quite a large task in front of me, I think. But it's now the time to carry on planting some other bits and pieces. I was going to start tomatoes relatively soon, probably middle of February or so. I've just been sent. I've just been sent. These were sent to me quite a while back now by Ganggang and Peanut, Mark over at that channel. I'll link it in the description below. So he's doing a tomato grow along, and he's sent me some tomatoes I've never heard of before. There's about 4 or 5 seeds from each of these particular tomato types. So we've got a Great Scott, Accordion Cherry, Dirty Curty, I guess that's Dirty Curty from number 30, Chupa Chups, which is, I guess, is just like the lolly, and then we've got Eagle Smiley. So I've got all of those particular 5 different types that I've got there. I've got some more RAF seeds for this year. My RAF chilies last year, my RAF tomatoes that I planted outside didn't really do much. They kind of caught blight. Again, I think partly it was because I probably started them too late, and I didn't really have kind of really large plants to put out when it came to actually putting the plants out. So I had kind of fruit towards the end of the season, and unfortunately that blight got in quite quickly with them. It even had to get my Crimson Crush this year. So yeah, blight's been a bit of a massive issue, at least it was for me last year. As well as that, I was going to plant Brad's Atomic again, and I think there's one called Starfighter, Rebel Starfighter. I think I'm going to try that one. And then, and then the RAF. I think I'm not going to plant many tomatoes this year. I think I had about 20 varieties last year, and I was only going to do 6. And I think it's partly because people kept sending me seeds. I don't mind that. Please keep that going if you want me to grow anything that you want to see. Yeah, send it to me. I'm bound to try and plant it, sow it somewhere. So we'll give that a go. The other things that I said I was going to try and find was the Queen of Malinalco tomatillo. So I've planted some tomatillos already. They're up on the Super 7, and unfortunately they've got quite leggy. So I do need to pot those on. I think I'll be potting them into these pots rather than the smaller black ones I've got. I think the chilies are going to be planted in these first before I do anything else. but the tomatillos, I'm going to probably have to use the larger pots, just purely because they're going to need to be buried deep. They've got quite leggy, so to give them a fighting chance of carrying on, that's kind of what we'll do. But what I need to do is get some of this Queen of Malinalco sowed, and we'll give that a go. Hopefully there should be a video out relatively soon about my aubergines, and I think they're all seedlings wise have got to a nice size as well, so I'll be potting those on as well. And I've been given another aubergine to try. This is from Real Seeds, but this was kindly sent to me by Jane Rose, so thank you so much for sending these. We'll give these a go. Looking at the Real Seed website, these are really quite prolific, quite nice black aubergines or eggplants. So hopefully we'll give these a go and see what they look like. They're called diamond aubergines. So we'll plant some of those as well, and we'll see where we go. The other thing that I have neglected this year, and I've normally started them back in November-ish, is my sweet peas. So sweet peas, I've grown them for the last 2 years now, and they're absolutely gorgeous. That smell when you go down the plot from this particular group of flowers is absolutely fantastic, and it fits in with my kind of channel name as well. The allotment of the dead, a lot of it is because I grow a lot of poisonous plants and toxic plants. So sweet peas in themselves are toxic. They've got something in them called lathyracin, I think, or something like that, because the Latin name of this is Lathyrus odoratus. So odoratus meaning smelly, so they smell. A majority of sweet peas that you get now will have a scent to them, and some of them are really intense. But I've managed to save quite a few from last year as well, so I'll be trying to plant some of those as well. Now these are going to be a mix of different kinds that I grew last year. It's not a problem. I think where I plant them, they all tend to grow together anyway in kind of different smells and colours, so I've got no issues in regards to kind of planting them. So I'll be sowing some seeds again. I'll be putting them in these pots because they do quite like a large, almost like a root trainer kind of affair, because the roots do go down quite a lot. So as well as that, I'll be planting some seeds that I got from a company called Somerset Sweetpeas, and I first saw these when we were at the Gardener's World Show, which I think is June this year. It's always worth a go. It definitely is quite a nice place to kind of see kind of new plants and see what's available. But they come in these nice little groovy little packets with pictures on them of what they look like and different colours, and I wouldn't say flavours because you can't eat these, different smells. The highest smelling varieties as well that they do, I think there's one called More Scent and one called High Scent. So those ones are really, really strong in smell. So we'll be growing those. So I'll be doing some pots of kind of single colour sweet peas, so I know which ones they are. And again, some of the mixed ones that I saved from last year for myself. And I'll be leaving some clear as well. So I'll use some of these, put these into the pots, but I'll be taking some of the others down the plot and sowing them directly into the ground. The thing you've got to worry about when doing that though is rats. So what I would suggest is wait until you've got some nice plants that you can put out, and then when you actually put in the actual plants into the ground, put a couple of these seeds around the base as well, and then you'll get almost like a succession of sweet peas as the season progresses. Last year I didn't get any seeds to save, purely because, schoolboy error of mine, I saved all the seeds, stuck them in a nice little tray at the plot, and unfortunately we had a bit of a mouse problem. The thing about rodents and sweet peas is they just don't go together. Rats will eat, well, they eat anything pretty much, even each other if they die. So they're not really fussed what they eat. So they will eat sweet peas. They are toxic still. So they did some research on kind of rats, and they fed them like a diet. 50% of their diet was sweet peas, and they ended up with enlarged adrenal glands, which can't have been good for them. It increases the cortisol levels and all sorts of that sort of thing. So they would have ended up with really horrible kind of things happening to them. The things with humans, though, I mean, is that this lethyrus toxin actually damages collagen. So it basically affects your collagen production in your skin. So potentially you can end up getting really saggy, floppy, wrinkly skin. So I don't know whether gardeners get old or whether they just get poisoned by sweet peas. These wrinkles aren't because of I'm getting old. It's because I'm using. I think it's because of the sweet peas. At least that's my take on things, anyway. So what we'll do then is I'll show you kind of what I'm doing just with one of these. So this is a mix of sweet peas from Somerset Sweetpeas, and again, sometimes they're rock hard to get into actually. So I'm going to use them all. So I'm going to just rip the top off. And there's about 10 or 12 or so sweet peas in here. So I've made up a potting mix of Jack's Magic and some vermiculite, and that's all it is in here. I don't use a seed compost for these because I'm going to take these down the plot. I'm not going to put them onto the Super 7s. I'm not going to put them anywhere near heat. They don't really need it to germinate. And I kind of want to try and get these to grow in natural light if I can. So these will go down the plot as soon as I can actually get them down there. And I think this week it will be definitely something I can do that. They'll go into what I called the Aubergine house last year, which will be the jalapeno house this year. And then hopefully by kind of end of March, or when the last frost is kind of out of the way, I should hopefully have some decent plants to actually plant out. And again, these are climbers. They will need some support to climb up. Or you could put them in baskets. I know people sometimes put these in baskets as trailing plants, and it does a really nice display as well. I know if you put them in a raised bed or something like that, then a lot of the time you can have the sweet peas kind of sprawling over the edge of the raised bed, and that can be, can look quite nice as well. Right, so I'm going to do the same with the rest of the sweet peas I've got here. Plant some of the ones I've got of mine from last year. It's almost like a nice thing of beans there. I do have some of these actually with beans in for this year, so we'll give that a go as well. But I've got a lot to go on. It's that really busy time of the year now. We're into spring, almost. We're on the cusp of spring, I think. So it's time to start those really kind of things that need that long growing season. So I've got these sweet peas. These sweet peas will be on the way. They'll be doing what they need to do. The other things I'll be starting soon are the tomatoes. I'll also be starting some melons. And again, the melons I'm going to grow in hanging baskets again this year, I think. And again, some small varieties, just because larger ones, they do need that really massively long growing season and a lot of heat. As I know, if I can put them in a hanging basket and stick them in the polytunnel, the heat of the polytunnel should be enough to get some decent fruit. Now, I had a few last year, didn't get many. Again, always been my issue is actually starting things quite late on in the season, and it's not giving them long enough to actually give you a decent harvest. So this year, fingers crossed, it's going to be different for me. Right, so I will get on and do this, and we'll see you on the next video. So all the best, guys. Take care. Bye bye.